What's up, y'all? Today I'm here at Archie's Tropical Cuisine in Salisbury, North Carolina, and I had the opportunity to interview Michael Archie himself. In this interview, y'all gonna get great vibes, y'all gonna get great insight, y'all gonna get great wisdom. So I hope y'all enjoy. Y'all stay blessed, man. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Today we are here at Archie's Tropical Cuisine. It is a blessing and honor to be where we are right now, bringing the islands, bringing Jamaica right here in Salisbury. Right here, you got it on your front doorstep. You got to come through, try it. You don't got to take that trip. You can come right here. You don't got to spend all that gas money. You don't got to get the ticket because it's all right here. Now, when you come here, I can't say that you ain't going to eat it and be like, all right, I'm going to Jamaica now. I can't say you're not going to say that. But it's a blessing to be here right now, to have the experience, to be able to try the food right here in our homeland. So today we are sitting with the owner, the one and only. You can't clone him. The biggest, the greatest, you feel me? It's one on one right here. So it's an absolute blessing. We're here with Mike. And this is who we are going to be interviewing today. And the first question is all in one. So all in one, that's just who you are, all in 1 minute. It can be where you came from. It can be about your kid. It can be about anything you would like to put, but it's all in one. So let me get the timer ready. And yeah, whatever you want to say, man, it's all on you. You ready, man?
I'm ready, man.
All right.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I just want to say, I appreciate you, giving me this opportunity to spread my business, get the message out there to the community. We're just trying to bring, the island, the Caribbean culture, to this small area, that's lacking culture. So I thought, I always been a part of this culture. So I was like, what can I do to bring and uplift this community and bring some different stuff so people like to go outside of the city when we can bring it to the city and make the city better. You know what I mean? They always want to run away from the city instead of trying to build it up. Okay. So I felt like I had to come back and give back what I've learned over the years. So that's just basically where I'm at in life right now with it.
Dang. That's huge, man. That's huge that you say that, because I started reading this book. It's called The Way of the Superior Man. I don't know if you read that before.
No, I haven't read it yet.
But it was just saying how sometimes we want to wait till we get this to go do something. But like everything we need right here. So if I want to travel, I got everything I need in Salisbury. You feel me? I got to explore where I'm at to get to where I'm going. And like I feel like you making that possible for me, because like I don't have to go to Jamaica no more. I can try here, and I can go to these little places around here and build up to that point. So I appreciate you. And for the people who don't know, what is Archie's Tropical Cuisine?
Archie's Tropical Cuisine is pretty much defining me as a person. So when you come into this restaurant, you're gonna see everything that's me, how I grew up, basically. So this is my way giving back through the reggae music. Most of these pictures that I built myself are old album covers that I had like over 30 years ago. Dang. So, I built these picture frames out of this centerpieces right here. So that's all this is right here. So that's basically nice. I was trying to give back the community, how I came up. So like I said, like these was all reggae albums. And then, I always love cooking. So I say, let me bring the Jamaican food to Salisbury, Let me see if they'll be willing to accept this culture, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I wanted to kind of be the first to set the blueprint. Okay. And I know like it's others gonna follow now that I set the blueprint.
100%.
So, I'm just trying to bring the culture closer here so people won't have to, I want to go to a reggae club or a Jamaican club. They have to go to Charlotte or Greensboro. No, I'm going to bring it to Salisbury now.
It's right here, small city. So did you ever have any doubts, like when you was like, okay, small city of Salisbury, I'm finna bring what I know, what I got. Did you ever have any doubts about that? Like, was it ever a point in your head where you was like, well, Salisbury not that big. I might not I might not thrive as much as I would in Charlotte. How did you kind of navigate that?
Well, how I did that, because I also cooked in Jamaican restaurants in Charlotte,
Okay.
and I noticed that it's like on every corner we got Jamaican restaurants. So it's so
Dang.
much competition. Even though it's a big city, it's a lot of competition. So
Uh,
in my mind, I say I want to conquer a smaller town, a smaller city. So that's always been my thing is like to find a place that don't have as much competition.
okay. You
So
found a
that way I
spot.
could capitalize on the money. You know.
Yeah, it's perfect then.
Yeah. So
'Cause it
that
ain't
that
too
was
much.
it about choosing Salisbury. Plus, I have a lot of family here too. So I just wanted to be able to give back to them too and let
Okay.
them know, all right, you got somebody in your family, and show the younger kids, it's another way. You ain't got to choose the
Facts.
streets.
A
The
hundred percent.
streets is not. It's gonna lead to a cemetery or to a penitentiary.
Mm.
So I was just wanted to show them that you don't have to go work in a factory for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you can build your own company. you know. And if you're younger, you're gonna have a better chance at being successful at it if you start now. So that's still my thing. So reaching out to the black men that really don't have no guidance.
Okay.
You know, so
Dang, that's huge. That's
yeah,
100% right. Cause growing up, really all it was sports or the streets. Like that's all I ever heard about.
that's
Sports or the
all they
streets. You feel me?
glorifies the streets.
They glorify.
So
Yeah, that's the word. Like glorify. Like just. So how did you kind of get out of that? How did you be like, okay, I know this not what I want to do. So I see I got this idea about this restaurant. I'm gonna take this restaurant and I'm gonna do it. I know what I want to do and I'm gonna do it. When did you have that moment?
um, like I said, I had a lot of friends that lost their life to the streets and
Mm.
to the penitentiary, and so I had to make a choice for myself. I don't want to leave my family out here by themselves to survive in this cold world. So
Yeah.
I want to show them a better way. And it's not easy, but if you stay consistent and find something that you're passionate about and you love, it'll be easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I always tell people to search for your inner talent and
Um.
exploit that. Don't
Okay.
go around it. You have some people that's good in wrestling. You have some people that's good in basketball.
Yeah.
But then they trying to do everything. But if they just focus on that one sport and make sure they master that sport,
Yeah.
then you can move on. So like I said, I mastered the cooking part. So I said, okay, this is an easy way for me to get money,
Okay.
and I never get tired of doing it. And I
Okay.
was my own boss. So I'm the kind of man that really don't like. I listen, but I listen long enough to know when it's time for me to step up and be a boss. It's
Um.
time for me to be a boss now.
Okay.
So I played my roles as the employee. You know, I
Yep.
played my role as the supervisor. I played my roles, building other people's company though.
Okay.
So now
Now you
I
here.
made a choice to build my own company now.
Okay. And when you was doing that, because you said you got to build your own talent, a lot of times, like, people will work at these jobs and stuff because their talents don't quite give them the money yet.
Right.
So how can I maybe like I don't get paid for this yet, for example. How can I stick to it, if you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I stay on that course? Like for the people who want to keep going, but it's not offering no money right now.
Invest
Okay.
in yourself,
Okay.
because you is your business. So yourself is
Um.
your business. So the more you invest, the more money you're gonna bring in. The more you're gonna get, recognized, because you don't upgraded your talent. You don't upgraded your cameras. You don't
Okay.
upgraded your computers. So now you know how to edit videos or whatever path you choosing to take. Like, it's say for instance, if you're dealing with music and you're dealing with Pro Tools,
Okay.
you want to deal with the best. You want to deal with the best equipment that they have to offer, so you can get the people the quality,
Yeah.
and that's what it is, quality. So if you giving the people quality, they can't complain about it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
You're giving people the quality they can't complain about it. And what's your favorite dish? And what's the people's favorite dish? Not only your favorite dish to cook, but your favorite dish to eat.
yeah, me myself, I love seafood.
Okay.
So I love like red snapper. That's like one of my favorite dishes. Brown stew.
Mm.
Any way you can do the snapper. So my top seller here is mainly oxtails. So
Okay.
a lot of people in this community love oxtails. They love the jerk chicken.
Yeah.
So that's like my top seller. So I'm trying to bring new dishes, but I also stick to what the people really want. So I give them what they pretty much know about and ask for. So I try to stick with the basics: jerk chicken, curry chicken, stuff like that.
Dang, that's nice.
Yeah.
I forgot what I had, but I remember the feeling I had when I ate it. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I can't believe I ain't never came here and tried this. So
Yeah. So that's my reward, seeing the satisfaction from people after they eat my food.
Yeah.
That's where I get my reward at.
Okay.
So it ain't all about the money. So I love to serve good food. So I'm gonna make sure the food is quality. So anybody who's looking for a job that knows the Caribbean food and knows how to prep the food and just know the culture, I'm willing to give them an opportunity. And I can mentor anybody. Like I said, I built this whole restaurant.
Dang.
This restaurant here used to be Subway, but I changed it.
Okay.
Because I knew what I wanted to present to the community. So I said, okay, I could have just opened it, but it was some kind of details that I wanted to give the community. Like, okay, like I said, it's not only about the food, it's about the music for me.
Okay.
So I'm a musician. So
dang, okay.
My first love was music. So I used to work in studios. I own studios. So like all of my friends, they still deal with music.
Okay.
So music, it was my first love. Reggae was my first music. So this is my way pretty much is giving back to them since I didn't make it to be a fucking Jamaican star.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
this is my way of giving back to the music.
Yeah.
So
people,
anybody who know the music and know the culture, they gonna come in and respect this wall that I built. Just bigging up the artists. And because reggae music is like real big for me as far as spreading positive messages.
Yeah.
So
okay.
A lot of positive messages come through reggae music. So like we got a Bob Marley. It ain't no reggae artist greater than Bob Marley.
Yeah.
But if you go back and listen to his music and analyze everything, you'll see he was trying to spread more positivity than negativity.
Okay. And that's another question I got, because you said like your reward is seeing people eat the food and they love the food.
Yeah.
And I was talking in the first interview I did, she was telling me how like the vibes she give off, it'll show in the food that you produce or the drinks that you make.
Right.
Do you see that? Like when you have these good days and you feeling great and you come in here and you showing love to the food, does it like showing the food and showing the vibe and all of that?
Yeah, definitely. The community, they've been real receptive. They've been supporting real good. So, I'm trying to put that message out there also. Like, in order for us to grow as a community, we gotta support each other. So
100%.
I'm big on supporting other Black businesses. Trying to help them thrive. Like, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm not gonna forget about you.
Yeah.
And when I get to a point to be able to help you further your business and your ideas, I'm gonna be there to help you. You know what I mean? But right now, the community, they've been great. So just look for Archie's to bring you more stuff to the community.
I appreciate it, man. We having right before school, we having a coat drive, or like it's gonna be a back to school drive. So we have barbers out there.
Yeah.
But if you got anything you got really, you just anything. We just need back to school stuff.
Yeah.
Book bags, pencils, stuff like that. It's gonna be a big event at the Salisbury Downtown Park, and I definitely love to have like you out there. Maybe not with food, just like business cards, just so like the young Black people who come through.
Yeah.
They be like, okay, this a Black business owner and maybe come through just how you dress now, and they can see you set up, and they're like, oh man, like I can do that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
100%.
I'm definitely with that. You know, I'm trying to put stuff together like
Okay.
that. So I'm definitely gonna have a back to school drive.
Okay.
Where, you know, customers can come in and just donate book bags, you know, school supplies, you know, maybe do a coat drive also. So,
okay.
You know, I'm trying to also be a part of that.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I love to be a part of that. I love to support, man. And I think it was like, you can see how big a man is by how he treats the smaller people. So it's like, it's always going to come back to you, man. Like, you putting all this good energy out, you helping all these people, it's always going to come back tenfold. You always going to be great just because you helping the people under you be great. So keep doing what you're doing, man. But what are some challenges you face as running a restaurant, and how did you overcome those challenges?
The greatest challenges, I would say, me and my wife ran into when we was first getting all the permits together. You know, pulling permits, and you know, it's not structured good. So I could say they need to do a little bit better as far as, like, you know, going to get your permits and stuff, and just basically not giving you the runaround. So basically we had to figure out everything ourselves. So it was like, you know, I could see why a lot of people detour away from trying to open up their own business, because they don't really have no blueprint for it.
Okay.
So, you know,
that's true.
As far as like the people to contact, and you know, you need to get in touch with this person. Well, you know, you should have called us first before you called them. But see, it's not no blueprint. So we went through a lot of that, and that delayed our, you know, it delayed our opening, our grand opening. So we had to push it back. Dang. So it's just like they could be better. You know, those like some of the greatest obstacles we ran into, like, you know, as far as before we open. But, you know, once they get to know you, you realize that they good people. So they just was like, you know, they've been working there for years. So, but I feel like they can do a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, that's huge, man. I appreciate that. I'm kind of going through some stuff right now, just trying to get everything set up. The paperwork side of it is boring, but it's crucial. So I'm definitely trying to get all of that figured out. What built you most as a man? How did you become the man you are today?
Basically just listening.
Okay.
Listening, like Bob Marley said, you can learn stuff even from a baby.
Yeah.
You know, like you ain't got so much knowledge where you can't learn again today.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like listening and just paying attention.
Okay.
And just planning and just executing, because, you know, even from a young age, I always knew that I wanted to own a restaurant. Dang. You know, and I always told people, like, you know, I'm gonna get my restaurant. You know, I started off cooking out of my house and dropping, you know, making deliveries in my car. You know,
dang, that's huge.
It's crazy, and people would look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you know, I'm driving around in a Benz, but when you look inside, it be full of plates that I'm dropping off delivering. So it's like, that's a bigger picture. I'm not worried about this Benz or the mileage I'm putting on.
Yeah.
So I got a bigger picture, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
making it happen, man. That's huge. Making it happen.
Right. Just sticking with it, staying consistent.
Okay.
You know?
So yeah, I'm gonna definitely remember that. Just listen, plan, and execute. Like recently, like ever since I got to college, I've been realizing like all I had to do was listen, because people told me the way not to go, not still go that way. I still try this and try that, but I'm realizing, like, as I look back, hindsight 2020. So if it's somebody who already been through that, I don't even got to go through that myself, because they already know the way. So that's important. That's huge.
Exactly.
I've been trying to take as much knowledge as I can. I apply this knowledge you give to me today.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's gonna help me be great. But did you ever have any doubts when creating the life you wanted?
Yeah, I did. You know, like I said, music was my first love. You know, I feel like, I ain't gonna say I wasted money, but you know, I've took, you know, thousands of dollars and invested in music equipment.
Dang.
But that's not even where I'm at today.
Okay.
I don't even own a studio today. But, you know, that was like a phase that I went through. So I was producing, you know, recording music, you know, helping people with their, you know, sponsoring, helping them with their other people with their music, you know. But the music, I'm not dealing with the music now. So the music is not making my money today. It's the food that's making my money. So, you know, it's like, you know, you're gonna go through some things to become a better person. Just put it that way. Yeah.
So those things made you. So you would say like, so would you take that back though? Like going through that music phase, if you knew what you knew today, would you still go through that phase, you think?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, because I probably be more successful because I feel like I wasted money. You know, I wasted time and money you can't get back. So you got to make the right decisions. So when you get money, you got to make the right investments. You know.
Yeah.
At the time it might seem right. You know, and it might seem like something you should have invested into. But if you take your time and do research and figure out what's gonna be the right thing to invest into, that's gonna bring back the most money and what make the most sense. You know, I invested in music equipment, but it didn't really bring me back much money.
Oh, okay. So you just gotta have a mind for it.
Yeah.
Kind of like
when I could have just took my artists to a bigger studio.
Okay.
And just paid for, you know, for studio time and just deal with it like that instead of trying to buy our own equipment.
Yeah. Okay. Dang, I actually got some homeboys who rap. They just got their own equipment. I ain't gonna lie. They
And the thing about that is when you're dealing with equipment, every year it's gonna be a better piece of equipment.
Okay.
Say for instance, you get an MPC, and it was made, you know, in 24.
Okay.
A new one coming out in 25.
Facts.
So
you might as well let them handle it. They're gonna have to buy it anyways.
Some people, I ain't gonna say it's a waste for some people, because some people, it's a passion for some people. Some people need that to make beats and stuff like that. So
did you rent your studio out?
I didn't rent it out.
Okay.
I just made beats and just had other kind of artists coming in and, you know, doing their little thing. But, you know, I feel like, you know, it's still a waste of money because this is where I'm at with it now.
Okay.
I don't even deal with music. So it was just like a phase that I had to go through.
Okay. Dang, that's huge. That's a part
trying
of
to find the right path. That's it.
Yeah, that's all it is to it, man. No losses, only lessons, man.
Right.
You live and learn. You just
you live and learn.
Apply it
and grow from it.
You know, and even if you feel like it ain't brought nothing to you, somebody might be you might see somebody going through the same phase, and now you can stop them from spending thousands of dollars. You feel me? So
exactly.
But how can you kind of like separate, or I ain't gonna say separate, building this restaurant, you had to have some amount of belief in yourself.
Yeah.
But also you gotta have that realistic aspect of, okay, well, let me be realistic about this. How do you kind of combine the two, you know?
Just you're supposed to dream. You can dream big, but just like think realistically.
Okay.
You know, think realistically. Okay, like, all right, I know if I can get, you know, if I can make $1,000 a week, you know, just start off small. Okay. Because that's how I did. Like I said, I started off at the house. You know, I left my factory job. You know, I was working in a factory in another company for somebody else, supervising. But when it came time for me to get a raise, I don't feel like they compensated me right. So I said, you know, I made a decision that I was gonna, you know, not work for nobody else. I'm only gonna work for myself. You know, that was like maybe 7 years ago when I did that, and I haven't worked for nobody else since.
That's huge.
You know, I started off with, as long as I can make $100 a day, that's gonna build it up.
Dang. Okay.
And that's how I started.
So just them small steps to get to the top of the mountain, man.
Exactly.
That's huge. I always preach that, like, if you want to get to Mount Everest, you can't expect to be there in 3 steps. It's going to take step after step after step. And it's those little steps that eventually you're going to look up and be like, dang, I done scaled this out a huge amount. So most definitely, man. But how did you bring this atmosphere to life? And what is your favorite part about this place?
How I brought it to life is, like I said, it's just, you know, the Rastafarian culture brought me to this, basically. You know, the reggae music brought me to this point where I'm at, as far as like serving the community Jamaican food now. So it's just like just trying to like teach the people this culture. That's it, and bring this culture to this community. So
100%. And what's your favorite part of it? Or you said
my favorite part of it is me being my own boss.
Okay.
Me being my own boss definitely is the most rewarding thing.
So 100% I see that, because like you can kind of choose what you want to hear. You can choose the whole vibe. And like that's what I've been seeing as I started this brand. Man, I can do whatever I want. If I want to promote this person right here, I don't got to get clearance from nobody. I can just promote them all I want. So I 100% see that you can be you to the best of your ability. Like you can be unapologetically you, and you don't got to answer to nobody. So that's 100%. But what you think the biggest lesson you've learned? Like not just on the restaurant scale, but in life as a whole?
Save money.
Okay.
Like that's the biggest lesson. Like right now, like I don't know how old you are. You might be like what?
19.
19.
Yes, sir.
Start saving right now. Put back, even if it's $100 a week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just put that back. Don't even touch it. You know, that's yours. And when you get ready to touch it, and maybe you might want to do that for 20 years. Dang. You just do the math on it. Like
that's like,
so then you good. And you got a lot of room to do other stuff. You know. But true. Just start right now. Like that's my message. Like start saving right now. Every week, you know, you're gonna put this amount back.
Okay.
You know, just for assurance and reassurance. And you know, stay on top of your taxes if you're gonna be, you know, an entrepreneur and a business owner. Uncle Sam, that's the government. And they will come. And when they come like gangsters. They not they not just policemen coming. No, they coming like thieves and robbers in the night. They're gonna take everything you got if you're not on top of your shit.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely. Yeah, I gotta get to that. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely gotta get on top of that.
That's the main thing. That, like, you know, as far as like and doing your research and learning about it. You know, your taxes that you're paying and how much they're gonna be taken out. You know, that's it. Like saving and staying on top of your taxes, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. And last question right here. I always ask it to everybody I interview. What's one piece of advice you can get young entrepreneurs to ensure that they thrive on their entrepreneurial journey?
Consistency. One word, consistency. It's just staying consistent on what you believe in and what you really want.
Right.
And don't detour from it. You know, even though if you fall down, get back up. You know. This like my second restaurant. My first restaurant didn't work.
Okay.
But when I came back, this restaurant is better than my first one.
So stay consistent.
So it's just staying consistent in what you believe and what you want, and just, you know, strive now. Don't waste, because time don't wait for nobody.
100%.
So if you really want something, start now.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the best advice I can give for people, you know, of my community, and and that's what I would want them to take from me. Start now. Save now. Listen now. And be consistent in what you want to do. And don't stop. Okay. Because the thing is, once you get a buzz up, and then you stop, then you let your buzz die, then you got to rebuild your buzz again.
100%. So one more, this is just an add-on question, because this happened to, I was just big on natural beauty with equality, and Andre, I was talking to them, and they were saying like how kind of you would get to that point and you doing good in business, and then something like traumatic could happen.
Yeah.
How do you keep going when kind of something like that happens? Do you take a break or?
That's a hard question because you always gonna have obstacles like that, and that's not nothing you can get around. It's something unexpected always gonna come.
Yeah, 100%.
So you just gotta be ready for it. And like you said, it could be financial, it could be personal, but it's gonna come. So sometimes you gonna have to step back and be like, okay, I gotta deal with this. This is a family issue, so I gotta deal with the family first.
Yeah.
And then I get back to it. So just putting back and saving gonna allow you to be prepared for stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard you say time don't wait for nobody, and like
right.
when I was going through stuff, it's not like time. Like for example, my homeboys, they rap, and like we was kind of like taking over the Charlotte areas. We were doing good. We was doing shows, making lyric videos. We was kind of on top, and then something happened, like very traumatic, and we kind of like slowed down a little bit.
Right.
And now we back where we was. We back to the start. So.
But when you stop, the buzz kind of died down.
Yeah, it all died down. So.
And the thing about music, you're always gonna have an artist coming out. It's always gonna be an artist coming out.
Always. That's
so when
true.
you get a buzz, you gotta stick with it. And don't be afraid to invest into yourself. So say for instance, if an artist is asking you for $10,000 for a feature, you're supposed to come up with the $10,000. You investing into yourself and your business.
Yeah. Okay.
Ain't nobody gonna really do nothing for free.
True that.
So if you really, really want to get on and get in the loop with the music, you gotta invest. So investing in your business would be getting a nice artist that's already in the loop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, rapping it, man. That's a tough one to go at. Like I ain't gonna lie, they definitely giving them they props. If y'all watching this, y'all probably watching this. Give y'all props, man, because that ain't no joke. Yeah. But last thing we always do, shout out anybody you would like to shout out. Your friends, your family, customers, whoever. It can take 5 minutes. It don't matter how long.
I just want to shout out to all my customers that's been loyal. That's been loyal with me since I started. Like I said, I started delivering food out of my cars. And doing different events around the city, different places, other cities. I would have to travel. It's just. I want to give a shout out to y'all. Y'all still supporting and making sure Archie's still thriving in the community. That's big. The support of our community to keep our business, Black business, thriving. And that's hard.
Yeah, man. That ain't no joke.
I just want to give a shout out to all the customers. That's it. And, give a shout out to Livingstone too.
Appreciate
it. Just to let y'all know, we are the only restaurant in this city to give, a discount to Livingstone students and Livingstone facility people that's working.
What's the discount?
I want to say it's 10%, something like that.
I definitely. 10%. I'm having a pop-up shop for my brand because my clothes arrive, I think, sometime next week. So we have a pop-up shop. I'll try to get a menu out there. Set it up, let them know like, yo, hey, this place right here. And there's a lot of people from like the islands. Yeah. And you wouldn't think it was, but it's a lot of it's people from all over. So I definitely let them know.
Livingstone booked us and we did an event over there for the international students.
Dang.
So we cooked for the international students over there. Matter of fact, this year we did it.
That's huge, man.
And they said they're going to get back in touch with me. I look forward to doing that again. And anytime you're ready to do something here, an event, pop up, anything, just let me know.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. And yeah, we here with the one and only Michael Archie, man. Mike, you can't clone him, man. So I just want to say, y'all, tap in here. Make sure y'all come through. Make sure y'all support. And once you come through one time, you're going to be a customer for life. But y'all take care, stay blessed, and have a wonderful day. Peace out.